In modern military conflicts, one can often observe the following paradox. The cost of destroying a target is many times greater than the cost of that target. The Israelis hit Arab extremist Qassam missiles worth a couple of $100 with Tamir missiles worth $80,000 to $100,000. The Americans use a couple of $1 million worth of missiles to destroy the ISIS Shaheed vehicles worth several tens of thousands of dollars. The developers at Raytheon understand this problem very well. That's why they created the weapon, which embodies the concept to efficiently destroy the enemy at minimum cost. What's this miracle weapon? Welcome to GBU-53B Stormbreaker Guided Decoy. You won't be surprised by a guided bomb anymore. There are 20 models of this weapon in armaments of different countries. The Americans GBU-8, 10, 12, 15, 16, 20, 22, and so on, up to GBU-43. These are Russian KAB-500, KAB-1500, and PBK-500U Drill. This is the German Hs.293, 294, and 295. The French developed the BLG1000 ERCOLE, and the Israelis GRIFFIN, GUILLOTINE, WIZZARD, OPHER, and WIZZARD. And the list goes on and on. But Raytheon managed to make a guided bomb GBU-53B Stormbreaker. Until 2018, the name Small Diameter Bomb 2 was used, which surprised everyone. First of all, the range of munition was an unprecedented 110 kilometers for a stationary target. And here, the word unprecedented is not a beautiful epithet, but an exact designation of this breakthrough. For example, their newest bomb, PBK-500U Drill, touted by the Russians, has a range of only 30 kilometers. It's often written that the guided gliding bomb allows the aircraft to avoid entering the zone of enemy air defense. You drop the bomb, and it enters the danger zone and hits the target. But 30 kilometers is very short. Such a range will only save from short-range air defense, such as FIM-92 Stinger man-portable air defense systems. But for example, even the obsolete MIM-104A standard surface-to-air missile of the Patriot surface-to-air missile system had a range of 70 kilometers. And the range of the MIM-104C PAC-2 that's in service now is already 160 kilometers. But a range of 110 kilometers is a fundamentally different characteristic. For example, the famous Russian anti-aircraft missile system S-400 has a range of 400 kilometers. But at what range will it be able to detect American stealth aircraft? For example, the F-35. This is a big question. Several experts call the figure no further than 100 kilometers. That is, the F-35 can work against Russian air defenses without entering the range of its defeat. And now, secondly, you've probably noticed that we've said the range of 110 kilometers is for stationary targets. So you mean that the GBU-53B bomb can also be used against mobile targets? That's correct. The ammunition can hit moving tanks and other military targets at ranges of up to 70 kilometers. And it's the world's first guided bomb that can do this. So how did Raytheon's designers manage to achieve such impressive specifications? The most interesting thing about the Stormbreaker is its targeting system. First, the munition has a GPS-corrected inertial guidance system. Second, the bomb has a homing head with 3 independent targeting channels, a semi-active laser head, a built-in millimeter radar, and an infrared camera. Moreover, these 3 channels can operate simultaneously and exchange information, which greatly increases the accuracy of targeting. Such a variety of aiming tools allows for choosing the most optimal scenario for target engagement. For example, if it's a stationary target with known coordinates, it can be entered into the memory of the guided munition, drop, and it'll correct its trajectory with the help of radar when approaching. If the target is mobile, it can first be illuminated by the aircraft's laser, and the bomb's semi-active laser head can be activated. Then, as it approaches the ground, its radar will be activated, which will point the munition more accurately at the target. The infrared guidance will be activated at the finish line. The bomb can be used in all weather conditions, whether there's a lot of dust on the ground and when the enemy is using smoke screens. The Stormbreaker's control system has another powerful tool that significantly extends the capabilities of this weapon, a dual-band data exchange channel. During the test, the following scenario of destroying a moving target was realized. The FA-18EF Super Hornet dropped the GBU-53B bomb and only then detected the target and gave the Stormbreaker its coordinates. The target was eventually destroyed. The data link allows for redirection of the munition as well as network-centric control. For example, a bomb is dropped by one aircraft while another plane or UAV steers it to the target. The designers also managed to solve the problem of dramatically increasing the range of the bomb It has a distinct rocket shape. That is, the value of the ratio of its length to diameter is inherent in rockets. With a length of 69 inches, 176 centimeters, the diameter is 6 inches, 15 centimeters. Conventional bombs, if I may say so, are more chunky and therefore have worse aerodynamics. After all, their job is mainly to fall, not fly. Plus the sliding wings with a large, for such a munition, area. In this respect, the Stormbreaker resembles a glider, hence the long range. The shaped charge warhead in the bomb has both high explosive and shrapnel effects, making it effective against infantry, armored vehicles, including main battle tanks, exposed structures, and buildings, as well as patrol-sized boats and other low-visibility targets. The bomb weighs 204 pounds, 93 kilograms, with half of that weight coming from the homing head. You, our viewers, may have a question. Sure, the GBU-53B is a great bomb, but it still loses in performance to air-to-air missiles, which are even more effective at hitting targets without the aircraft entering the enemy's air defense zone. So what's the value of the GBU-53B Stormbreaker? Two things: size and price. An F-35 stealth fighter, because the bomb is only 6 inches in diameter, can take 8 of them in the inner compartment, i.e. without worsening its radar stealth, and for example, the F-15E aircraft can take on the interior and exterior hangings, have 28 of these bombs. The maximum close to the characteristics of the guided bomb GBU-38, weighing 229 kilograms, has a diameter of 27 centimeters, which is almost twice as much, a maximum range of only 16 kilometers, and can't destroy moving targets. In fact, before this bomb, the U.S. Army had to use either the A-10 Thunderbolt II attack aircraft armed with 6 AGM-65 missiles with a range of 28 kilometers with a television or infrared homing head to destroy, for example, tanks, or helicopter AH-64 Apache armed with 2 AGM-114 Hellfire missiles with a range of 11 kilometers and a semi-active laser guidance system. The AGM-65 costs $180,000 and the AGM-114 Hellfire $100,000. The cost of the GBU-53B today is $195,000 and $128,000 for the 15th year of operation. And at the same time, there's much less risk of losing a helicopter or an aircraft worth $14 to $15 million, and most importantly, people. The use of the Stormbreaker is especially justified in local conflicts with enemies who have outdated or low-tech, inexpensive weapons, so there's no situation where you have to spend $10 to destroy a conventional $1 target. That's why the Pentagon has such high hopes for the new munition. Development of the GBU-53B Stormbreaker began in 2006. The first test drop on a training target took place on July 17, 2012, over the White Sands Proving Ground. The F-15E Strike Eagle carrier aircraft located the target, transmitted the necessary data to the bomb, and performed the drop. The item used all of its guidance assets and hit the target with a direct hit. In 2015, the U.S. Department of Defense ordered a pilot batch of ammunition, 144 units, and in 2018 it began serial production. The ammunition is now used in the F-15E Strike Eagle aircraft and after software updates to the F-35 weapons control systems on all types of this stealth fighter for the Air Force, Navy, and Marine Corps. On June 15, 2020, a new test event took place aimed at introducing the prospective bomb into Navy deck aviation. The product was first dropped from the FA-18EF Super Hornet fighter at an unnamed range, followed by control flight and targeting of a training target. According to current plans, the FA-18EF will become the second-in-line carrier of the advanced bomb in the U.S. Armed Forces, and so far the only one in the Navy. More than 17,000 Stormbreakers have been produced to date. U.S. allies are also interested in the promising weapon. In 2016, information emerged about the imminent signing of a U.S.-South Korean contract. The Republic of Korea Air Force intends to use the GBU-53B bombs to enhance the striking capabilities of F-15K aircraft. Negotiations with Australia started in 2017. This country plans to buy 3,900 bombs to arm the F-35A fighters. The implementation of 2 export contracts will begin shortly, but not before the start of deliveries to the U.S. Armed Forces. The appearance of the GBU-53B Stormbreaker demonstrates that the Pentagon not only wants to guarantee victory, but also to win with minimal costs. A laudable aspiration. The latest global developments in the world suggest that the U.S. will have to count its money even more carefully if it wants to maintain its lead against China and Russia.